Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Quenisha. I am a career coach, a wife, and a mom, and I help millennials get higher paying positions in their corporate jobs by increasing their value. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be discussing with you 3 reasons why you're most likely nervous about your upcoming interview and why people in general are nervous about their interviews. And I'm also going to tell you how you can get over that nervousness. So let's get started. Okay, so one reason, and probably the most popular reason, why you're nervous about your upcoming interview and why people in general are nervous about interviews is because you don't know what to expect. You don't know what they're going to say, you don't know what they're going to ask you, and people are generally nervous about the unknown. They fear the unknown. I'm here to help you to not be nervous because basically all interviews are pretty much the same. The first thing you need to do to get over your nervousness is to research the company and read over the job description. I bet you want to know why. Okay, so when you research the company, you get a better understanding of what the company is about. You have a better understanding of their mission. And as a result, you can pretty much gather what they're searching for. When you look over the job description, you have an understanding of what the job entails, what they expect from you, what skills you need to possess, and it kind of gives you a general idea of the type of environment you'll be working in. If you research the company first and then you read over the job description, understanding everything they need from you, you can pretty much guess what the interview is going to be asking you. Or you can pretty much guess around the range of what type of questions you'll be asked based on what they need from you. Because when you're in an interview, they're interviewing you obviously for whatever position you apply for. They need you to be able to effectively do whatever is in the job description. So if the job description states they need someone who is high energy or someone who is a multitasker, they're probably going to ask you questions about times that you've had to multitask or you've had to be high energy. And when you read over the job description, you can mentally prepare yourself to answer those questions and you'll be ready when it's time. Another way to get over the nervousness and to be better prepared is for you to know the skills. So again, when you read over the job description, it will tell you what skills you need to effectively do the job. You need to take that and practice. You need to perfect it. You need to be sure that you can execute these skills effectively. So when you get to your job interview and they ask you those questions pertaining to the skills, you can answer them in a way that will be satisfying for you and for the interviewer. Okay, another reason why you're probably nervous about the job interview and why other people are probably nervous about their interviews is because of confidence issues. Okay, and confidence plays a really, really huge part in an interview. Nobody wants to bring somebody on the team who doesn't feel like they're adequate enough to fulfill the position. Okay, so a way to build your confidence, for one, is to network. When you talk to people in that field, or if you're applying for a higher paying position, which I hope you are, you talk to people who are at those higher levels already. You can gain knowledge from them, you can gain skills from them, and getting into a place where you're comfortable speaking to people who are at higher levels will put you in a position where you're comfortable speaking to your interviewer. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Everything is difficult in the beginning, everything is difficult when it's new, but when you are consistent and you keep doing it, you keep networking, you keep talking to higher level people, you'll do it like it's nothing. Another way to build your confidence, and I know I already said this, but it's super important, it plays a huge part in confidence as well, is to read the job description. Read the job description. Make sure you know what they want from you. Make sure you have the skills to do the job. Make sure you have the skills to be seriously considered. Practice makes perfect. Make sure you practice the skills. Make sure you've perfected it. I mean, I know not everybody's perfect, but if you make sure that you can successfully execute the skills, You won't feel so bad about answering questions about how long does it take to boil an egg, because that is a skill you've perfected, or you're good enough at it to where you won't say 20 minutes. And I know some people boil eggs for 20 minutes, that's too long. But you put the egg in the pot, turn it on, let it boil, go watch a TV show, and come back when all the water's boiled out. That's not how you boil an egg. When you can do it effectively enough, you will be comfortable enough to answer the questions, and your confidence won't be low because you know you can do it. Okay, another tip about building your confidence when you go into an interview is to understand that they need you. That's the reason why the job was posted. That's the reason why the position needs to be filled. They need somebody to fill this position, okay? It goes both ways. You need a higher paying position, or you need a change in your career, and they need a person to fit this position. And I say this because when you feel like all the pressure is on you, like you were trying to measure up to them, your confidence is kind of lowered. You feel like, oh man, am I good enough? Am I going to answer the questions properly? Understand that just as you need them, they need you too. And so you need to be confident enough to walk into an interview and understand that you have something very valuable that you are offering to them, just as they have something valuable that they are offering to you. It's a fair exchange. That'll help you feel more confident in your interviews. Okay, the third and last reason you're probably feeling away about this interview coming up, and why a lot of people are, is because you're unprepared. And a way to prepare yourself is to, one, get enough rest. Do not show up to an interview tired and exhausted. True story. My husband showed up to an interview. He's a chef. And this is what he does. So he can literally prepare something amazing with little to no effort. It's easy for him, right? And so the position that he applied for, he had an interview for, he worked his other job overnight. And so the interview was early in the morning, right after work. He was tired and exhausted. Now, he showed up to the interview and he did good. He did an amazing job. He got offered the position. He even negotiated a higher salary, and I'll be making a video with you guys on that, on how to negotiate a higher salary. He got the higher salary. Everything went as planned, but when he left the interview and called me, he's like, listen, I don't know how I made it. I was exhausted. I couldn't think. My brain was like scrambled. I mean, eventually when I got into it, I got with the groove and I was able to execute, because again, he's a chef, and so they wanted him to prepare a meal. He's like, I got into it and I was able to do it, and the meal was fire, which it always is. But the early stages, he wasn't himself. His head is all over the place. He can't focus on one thought, and that's how you get when your body is tired. You do not need to be tired showing up to an interview, bags under your eyes, slouched all down, dozing off while the interview is talking about stuff you don't want to hear about. That's a no. That's a no. If I was interviewing a person and I can visibly see that they're exhausted, I would feel like they didn't take this interview seriously, and I wouldn't move them on to the next level. I just wouldn't. So get enough rest. Be well rested before your interview. Another way that you can prepare yourself in a way that shows that you're unprepared is show up to an interview hungry. Do not show up to an interview hungry. We do not need you sitting in a room with your stomach making all these noises. Like, are you kidding me? Go eat something. Eating helps you focus as well. It's very hard to think and focus when you're hungry, because you could be thinking about, okay, how many words do I type per minute? And then on the other shoulder, oh man, a ham and cheese sandwich would be so good right now. Let's not do that. Your focus is not going to be where it needs to be, because hunger is a pain. It's literally like you can feel it in your stomach, in your chest, in your body. When you're hungry, you're going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to be able to focus. You're not going to be able to think. Do not show up to an interview sleepy. Do not show up to an interview hungry. That is being unprepared, okay? Okay, another way to prepare yourself for your interview is to read over your resume. And I understand that you wrote the resume, you created it, you know what's on it, but read over it and have a copy of it with you. Because a lot of times the interviewer has your resume in front of them. And if, for example, you're interviewing, the interviewer is searching, they keep looking at you, looking down at the resume, you can on cue ask, is there anything you have a question about on my resume that I can further explain? Or you can automatically refer to something on your resume that resonates with whatever question they just asked you. Read over it. Make sure, a lot of people have different copies of resumes. Make sure you have the right one. Make sure the skills you need for this particular position are listed on this resume. Make sure your resume is in presentation form. Okay? Another way to prepare yourself for this interview that you have coming up for a higher paying position is to practice. Practice. Practice with your spouse, your best friend, your mom, your siblings, whoever. Just practice. It'll help you it'll help you get rid of the nerves. Depending on who you're practicing with, for example, for myself, I probably practice with my husband. And they can tell you, the person you're practicing with can tell you if you sound crazy or not. If you sound nervous, if you sound unsure, if what you said doesn't make sense. It's very easy for people to, when you're not actually in the situation, to criticize the situation. It's very easy for people to point out flaws, and I'm sure we all know that. People are quick to point out flaws. But in this situation, you want them to. You want your friend to tell you, I like that answer, but it didn't make sense. Or, oh, you were doing a little bit of stuttering, or, oh, you're looking all over the place, because sometimes you don't realize you're doing it. Oh, girl, you were looking all on the side of the wall, like, what are you doing? You need that. So practice. You know the general interview questions. And if you don't, I have a video on that as well that I'll be posting. You know the general interview questions. When the person you're practicing with is asking you those questions, when you go to your interview, you will be more comfortable answering them because you'll be prepared for it. It won't sound like it's rehearsed. It won't sound fake or planned. It'll sound natural. It'll flow. Your confidence will be where it is, and you will appear like a good candidate to the interviewer. So, to recap, the three reasons people are nervous about interviews and how to not be nervous. 1, you're unprepared. Go over your resume, go over the job description, practice, eat, get sleep. 2, your confidence is low. Talk to people, network, read over the job description, read over the skills, make sure you know how to effectively perform the skills before you get the job. And 3, you don't know what to expect. Research the company, read over the job description, read over the skills. Read over the skills. Make sure you know what you're talking about and you know what you're doing before you go into this interview. That's all I have for you guys today. I'll be posting more videos once a week, every Thursday, 8 a.m. I will have a new video to help you land a higher paying position in your corporate job by increasing your value. So I need you guys to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I post something new. And until next time, I hope you get that job. Good luck on that interview.